Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a truly surprising story. It connects economics, power, and the terrifying rise of a dictator.
hmm
We've got a stack of fascinating sources. It lays out a really compelling narrative.
It really does.
Our mission today is to unpack the story of a man often called the Kaiser of the German economy. I mean, this is a figure so influential that, according to these sources, Hitler himself held him in, well, immense respect.
Yeah, that respect part is key.
You'll learn how one man's financial genius, intended maybe to save a nation, inadvertently laid the groundwork for a world war.
It's quite the chain reaction.
Get ready for some real insights, because this individual, he navigated the highest echelons of power, defied expectations, and this is the shocking twist. He even managed to get Germany's enemies to fund its rearmament.
It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? What's truly fascinating here is how these seemingly disparate things, personal humiliation, a national economic crisis, sheer political ambition, they all converge through the actions of this one brilliant, but very complex individual.
Right.
We're going to explore not just what he did, but why his methods were so effective and the lasting, often unintended implications of his choices.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our story really kicks off with the profound humiliation Germany faced after World War I.
Yeah, Versailles and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine German businessmen, bankers, going to negotiations in Holland in 1919. They're forced to stay in cheap hotels, eat poor food, constantly supervised.
Treated like second-class citizens.
Totally. A clear sign of contempt. Apparently, they weren't even given seats at the main negotiation table. And one man, a 42-year-old rising bank deputy director, he was deeply affected by this.
Took it personally.
He vowed revenge. But not through military might, interestingly, through economic power. This was Hjalmar Schacht, already known for his incredible networking skills. Businessmen, bankers, government people.
And it's crucial to grasp just how formative this early experience was for him, for Schacht. It wasn't just, an inconvenience. It solidified this core belief that Germany needed an unassailable economic foundation to regain its dignity, its influence on the world stage. It became, like, his personal mission.
Right. So fast forward just a few years, early 1920s. Germany is in a terrifying state. Hyperinflation.
Just catastrophic.
A loaf of bread costs hundreds of billions of marks. Imagine your money literally becoming worthless by the hour.
Unthinkable today.
Governments change constantly. Couldn't fix anything. 5 different administrations in the 5 years before this. Then, 1923, Schacht's old friend, Gustav Stresemann, he's now a German chancellor.
Oh, Stresemann.
And he knows only Schacht can fix the currency mess.
But there's a snag, right? The system.
Yeah, a big one. What's remarkable here is the obstacle Stresemann faced. The head of the central bank, the Reichsbank, couldn't just be fired during their term.
So how did Schacht get around that? I mean, such a rigid system when you need immediate, drastic action. Did he just bend the rules? Break them?
Precisely. Schacht's solution was, well, ingenious, a workaround. He got appointed currency commissioner by the Ministry of Finance,
Ah, new title?
effectively giving him the powers of the central bank head without actually holding the title. He shows up with just one secretary and a very clear mission.
So he basically created a parallel power structure.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell us about his approach to obstacles? Maybe his ambition?
Tells us he was a man who got things done, I think. What he did was completely scrap the old, worthless German mark. Just gone. And introduced a new currency, the Rentenmark.
The true genius of the Rentenmark wasn't just, creating a new coin. It was its backing.
Right, because Germany didn't have the gold.
Exactly. No gold reserves to speak of. So it was ingeniously tied to the real tangible value of Germans to agricultural land, industrial products, real estate. This fundamentally restored trust in a currency that had been utterly, utterly debased. That was the core issue. It was a psychological masterstroke as much as an economic one.
And the impact.
Yeah.
Immediate. Nothing short of miraculous, really. Within months, inflation plummeted. Millions of percent down to just 15%.
Incredible turnaround.
Schacht became a national hero, celebrated everywhere as the miracle man of the economy. Our sources even mention his predecessor at the central bank actually died of a heart attack shortly after seeing Schacht's success.
Wow. Talk about pressure.
And on December 20, 1923, Schacht was officially appointed president of the Reichsbank. Finally got the actual title. He held it for 7 years. So as head of the Reichsbank, Schacht worked tirelessly. Rebuilding Germany's international financial standing was priority one.
fixing the image.
He cultivated friendships, personal relationships with central bank heads all over the world, gradually raising Germany's financial prestige. Then, 1929, another significant feat. He participates in negotiations that lead to the Young Plan.
Ah, yes, the reparations plan.
Exactly, a revised, more manageable schedule for Germany's crushing war reparations. This plan substantially reduced the payments, extended the period. It eased the burden on the German budget considerably.
Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Schacht was incredibly effective here, managing Germany's external debts, presenting a more stable face to the world. However,
There's always a however.
well, this very success, dealing with the Allies, especially on reparations, it also made him a lightning rod, for
Yeah.
domestic political opposition. It's a classic paradox. Solving one problem can definitely create another.
And it certainly did here.
Yes.
Opposition parties, they jumped on it. Exploiting German anger towards the Allies, the reparations burden, they launched this massive smear campaign against him, his collaborator.
Politics getting ugly.
His old friend Stresemann, now foreign minister, he couldn't endure the pressure. Died at 50, heart attack.
Tragic.
Then came the Great Depression, just slammed into Germany. Its devastating impact led Schacht to resign from the Reichsbank in 1930.
Had enough.
Seems like it. She chose to travel the world, said he wanted to clear his head, and get this. While traveling in America on a ship, he picks up a copy of Mein Kampf
Hitler's book.
and reads it. This is the start of, well, something entirely new. So as Schacht is traveling, Germany's political landscape is just shifting dramatically. Hitler and the Nazi Party are trying to gain power, democratically, through the Reichstag, the parliament.
Continuing the system.
To win public support, they desperately needed a compelling economic program, something to address the anger, the unemployment, the general economic misery gripping the nation.
And here's the ironic twist, isn't it? The sources are pretty clear. The Nazis, for all their political noise, understood, quote, nothing about economics. They needed credibility. They needed an expert, someone at the very top of German finance. And Schacht, now retired, maybe a bit disillusioned with traditional politics, he was the perfect available candidate.
So January 5th, 1931, a truly pivotal dinner takes place. Schacht and Hitler meet for the first time.
The meeting.
The sources describe Hitler as having great humility before Schacht. While Schacht, maybe seeing a powerful vehicle for his own grand economic plans, saw Hitler as the right person to take the economy where he envisioned. They found common ground.
While the source mentions Hitler's humility, I have to wonder, right? Did Schacht truly see him as the right person morally, or just as a powerful, maybe unsavory tool for his economic vision? A pragmatic choice in desperate times.
A means to an end.
Feels less like a meeting of minds, perhaps, and more like a tactical alliance, born of mutual need.
Regardless of the motive, Schacht immediately threw himself into supporting the Nazi Party. He became instrumental introducing Hitler to major German industrialists,
Opening doors, securing money.
securing crucial financial backing for the party. Within months, the Nazi Party becomes the largest in Germany, wins 33% of the votes. But President Hindenburg, he's hesitant, doesn't want to appoint Hitler as chancellor.
And this is where Schacht's influence really shows through. For better or worse, obviously, he didn't just provide introductions. He legitimized Hitler in the eyes of the financial elite. Made him seem respectable, maybe.
Exactly. Schacht stepped in again. He gathers Germany's leading economists, including himself, drafts a petition to Hindenburg, urging him appoint Hitler as chancellor.
The final push.
And just like that, January 30th, 1933, Hitler becomes chancellor. Once in power, Hitler needs immediate funds, consolidate rule, eliminate opponents, kickstart the propaganda machine. He asks Schacht for 3 million marks.
It really makes you wonder, what was the thinking among the German establishment then? Did they honestly see Hitler as someone they could control, a useful tool to restore order, then maybe discard later?
Seems to be the tragic miscalculation, doesn't it? Schacht responds. Brings together 25 top German industrialists, economists. Hitler addresses them, reassures them.
Right.
Your money, your businesses, they'll be safe under my rule.
The charm offensive.
Schacht then collects the 3 million marks from them. And just 2 or 3 days after that meeting, the Reichstag building is set on fire.
The Reichstag fire, pivotal moment.
The Nazis blame the communists, use it as a pretext to eliminate their opposition. Schacht had, quite literally, provided the financial fuel for this consolidation of power. So with power consolidated, Hitler immediately turns to economic projects. He calls the current Reichsbank president, asks for financial details, assistance.
Testing the
The
waters.
president is uncooperative. So Hitler, remembering Schacht's decisive actions, turns back to him.
Of course he does.
Schacht gets offered his old job back. Reichsbank president, he accepts. And later, he also becomes Minister of Economics. Now, he truly has the power he seemed to desire.
And his most crucial task, at least from Hitler's perspective, was rearming Germany,
The big one.
which required immense amounts of money. But openly borrowing? Impossible. International restrictions from the Versailles Treaty were still in place, sort of.
And just printing money.
Catastrophic. Would lead straight back to hyperinflation, undoing all Schacht's previous miracle work. So this was his ultimate test of ingenuity, really. He needed a way to finance this massive secret military buildup without causing inflation and without alerting the international community.
His solution was brilliant and, frankly, profoundly deceptive. The MIFO bills.
The MIFO.
Schacht creates a dummy corporation, paper only.
Called MIFO.
Metallurgische Forschungsgesellschaft, mouthful, basically metal research company.
Sounds innocuous enough.
Here's how it worked. MIFO would issue these special bills, basically IOUs, to German companies supplying goods for rearmament. These bills had maturity dates, 90 days, up to 5 years, and crucially, they were guaranteed by the German government.
A guarantee, that's the magic ingredient.
Exactly. The brilliance here was the illusion. Because the government guaranteed these bills, investors felt incredibly secure, rock solid.
So when the MIFO bills matured,
The Reichsbank would print a limited amount of money to pay them back. But often, the holders would just reinvest in new MIFO bills. It created a self-sustaining hidden financial loop, didn't trigger widespread hyperinflation.
clever. Very clever.
And the sources mention that even foreign companies, like General Motors' German subsidiary Opel, bought significant quantities of these bills.
Wait, really? General Motors?
Think about that.
Yeah.
Major international corporations unknowingly participating in a secret rearmament program that would eventually turn against their own nations.
That's staggering. It's a testament to Schacht's manipulative brilliance, isn't it? By making these bills seem so secure, so harmless, Schacht basically turned Germany's creditors, including American companies, into unwitting financiers of its future war machine.
A financial Trojan horse.
Exploiting global trust on an unprecedented scale. Just incredible.
And this allowed Schacht to pour billions into rearming Germany, completely under the radar of the Allied powers. Effectively, America, Britain, France, others. They were unknowingly funding Germany's military buildup, the one that would be used against them.
Wow.
The revenge Schacht had envisioned years ago. In that cheap hotel in Holland, it was now chillingly taking shape. So, by 1936, Schacht had pretty much achieved everything he wanted. The German economy was strong, unemployment was down, the military was being secretly rebuilt. Things looked good on the surface.
For Hitler, this wasn't enough, was it?
Not even close. Hitler wanted to expand, conquer, reshape Europe entirely according to his ideology.
And Schacht, the pragmatist.
Schacht, the pragmatic economist, told Hitler straight, "Your aggressive territorial ambitions are economically unsustainable. The German economy, strong as it is, cannot support this kind of massive military conquest. You'll break it."
And this reveals that fundamental, ultimately irreconcilable clash, doesn't it? Schacht, for all his, let's call it dark genius, still operated within the realm of economic reality, pragmatism.
He knew the limits.
Whereas Hitler was driven by this unconstrained ideological fanaticism. He just ignored economic constraints. He saw the economy not as a system to be managed sustainably, but as a tool, something to be exploited for immediate violent expansion, regardless of the long-term cost.
And Hitler, well, he wasn't used to being contradicted,
Yeah.
especially not on his grand vision.
Yeah.
He was furious.
I can imagine.
He removes Schacht from the Ministry of Economics, appoints Walther Funk in his place.
Ah, Funk, the yes man.
Pretty much. Funk, unlike Schacht, blindly followed Hitler's orders, regardless of economic sense. He starts dismantling much of what Schacht had built between 37 and 39, gearing the entire economy solely for total war, based on Hitler's, frankly, unrealistic plans.
And this shift was critical. Schacht had built a strong foundation, okay, maybe a morally compromised one, but it was based on some kind of stability and trust, even if it was illusory trust through the MIFO bills. Funk, under Hitler's direct command, didn't just dismantle it, he redirected everything, pushed for autarky, total self-sufficiency at any cost.
Which meant
Plundering occupied territories, prioritizing military production over absolutely everything else, ultimately destroying that carefully built foundation for immediate military needs. It led directly to war, and an economy so severely unbalanced, it just couldn't sustain itself long term.
Yeah. And the sources are really clear on this point. Without that initial economic strength, that critical rearmament foundation laid by Schacht, Hitler simply would not have been able to wage war or conquer most of Europe in the way he did.
Schacht built the engine, even if he didn't want to drive it off the cliff.
So what does all this mean for you listening? Hjalmar Schacht's story is, well, it's a chilling reminder, isn't it? How immense brilliance, even when applied with maybe seemingly noble intentions like saving a nation from economic collapse, can have unforeseen and catastrophic consequences when it gets aligned with unchecked ambition and fanaticism.
Absolutely. This deep dive really highlights how economic policies aren't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. They are profoundly intertwined with political power, with the very trajectory of history. Schacht's independence, his genius, it made him indispensable for a time, but also, tragically, vulnerable. Vulnerable to being used by forces far more destructive than he perhaps initially understood or maybe even intended.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do the brilliant minds behind our systems, economic, technological, whatever, in their pursuit of effective solutions, inadvertently create pathways for deeply unintended, even horrific outcomes? It's a provocative thought. Can genius ever be truly neutral? Or is it always, in some way, an accomplice, even an unwilling one, to the powers it serves?
That's the question to ponder.
Thank you for diving deep with us today. We hope this exploration of Hjalmar Schacht's pivotal and, let's face it, paradoxical role has given you a fresh perspective on a complex period of history and the intricate, often dangerous, dance between economics and power.
Keep thinking about it.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.